Put simply, the tax rate is the percentage of tax charged on a given thing. To maximise tax revenue, an economy must be as strong as possible. High tax rates lead to people being unwilling to work extra hours due to a low marginal benefit, unwilling to invest as the risk is not worth the low returns, and more likely to seek out tax avoidance schemes. This shrinks the tax base, that is, the amount of money subject to taxation, and leads to a lower overall revenue for the government. The economist Arthur Laffer demonstrates this with the now famous Laffer curve. There's an ideal tax rate that will maximise tax revenue somewhere between a nil tax rate and a maximum tax rate. The role of the government's economic policy should be to maximise the tax base rather than just setting high tax rates. A larger tax base means an economy with more growth, more investment and more wealth. This was demonstrated in the UK when the coalition government cut corporation tax rates but saw an increase in corporation tax receipts. All too often we hear politicians promise extra spending to solve problems. Failing healthcare? No problem, we'll give him more money. Ageing infrastructure? No problem, we'll spend more money. Awful local services? Don't worry, we'll just spend some more money. Many of the problems faced in the public sector are caused by systemic institutional issues. More money spent does not magically fix these problems. A government cannot just spend its way to solutions without ensuring that structural issues are fixed first. Any increase in spending must be targeted and efficient, rather than used for point scoring with the electorate. Over time, the government has collected increased responsibility and increased spending to ever higher levels, yet services seem to be getting worse. The role of taxes shouldn't just be to fund more and more services, but to provide essential services as well. We often hear from more left-leaning MPs that a wealth tax is a win-win solution to our problems. After all, only those with the spare cash lying around will have to pay. There is, though, a major problem with this logic. Wealth taxes never work. To take a similar economy to our own, France, a wealth tax was enacted in 1982 and lasted until 2017. In that time, France lost over 60,000 millionaires. This leads to a massive constriction in the overall tax base. Even in the one country cited as being a working example of a wealth tax, Norway, has been harmed overall. While the tax itself is increasing revenue, the overall tax intake in Norway has fallen, spurred by an exodus of wealth in a phenomenon known as capital flight. This reduction in revenue means costs being passed on further down the line. That's taxes for everyone. The government has two major ways to finance spending: taxes and borrowing. A nominal increase in spending is not necessarily an issue, provided that the economy grows at a faster rate than spending increases. The issue here, though, is that many think that government spending will lead to the growth needed to finance that spending. This is wrong. To fund this initial spending, the government will borrow the money needed. As with all loans, repayments must be made. When the increase in spending fails to deliver the growth, we will suffer. Debt interest payments make up the fifth largest spending area today. This is the taxpayers of today suffering for the borrow-happy policies of previous governments. Taxation is theft, as the libertarian saying goes. The real problem, though, should be with the mismanagement of spending. There are certain services that we need to have a flourishing, healthy and free society. A police force, an army and a government, and so on. After all, we need a functioning society first to allow for a fruitful economy. The easiest and only way to support this needed spending is via taxes. This means that taxes, done correctly, serve a good purpose. The focus should be on finding the correct balance between the revenue needed to support these systems and ensuring an economy that is as free as possible. Taxes are needed for this.